Hey, what's going on, guys? Master Coach Aaron Guyette here, also the Education Director with Living.Fit, and I want to talk about the 5 benefits and the 5 biggest mistakes with body weight workouts. So obviously it's no hidden thing. We are launching a body weight program coming up really soon called the Minimum Space Athlete. And it is an incredible program. But let's talk through some of the pitfalls that we end up with, as well as some of the benefits that we can end up reaping, some of the rewards that we can end up getting when we pursue a body weight program. So we'll start with the 5 benefits, right? We'll start on the positive side. So obviously, first, you are the equipment. Your body is the equipment. You don't need any other equipment. At the same time, it's really easy to add some equipment to it, right? If I want to add a kettlebell, right? If I want to add some sort of external load, like a backpack, or maybe a duffel bag, right? Or a grocery sack, or a sandbag, or a dumbbell, or any of those things, a resistance band. It's really easy to add that to the particular movements. And obviously, you want to just make the movement that's already hard for maybe the thighs a little bit harder, right? Now, you should also be able to make it more difficult utilizing your body. So the second benefit is that it can be done anywhere, anytime. So the beauty of a body, if you have a couple of body weight workouts, and it's even better if you have a full-on body weight program, it doesn't matter if you get stuck on quarantine for months on end, right? Which some of us have experienced, right? Or if you're on a trip, a really long vacation, or a really long business trip, right? You don't have to forego working out. You can continue your progress. You can continue your workouts as long as you have a good body weight program, a couple of good body weight workouts, right? You can do it anywhere, anytime. The third benefit is that it teaches body awareness. So talking again about making it difficult for the thigh, or making it difficult for the bicep or the shoulder or the chest or the back or the butt, or whatever it is that you're trying to work, by just moving the body with ground and gravity, we learn how the body works and what makes the body work. So I can tell by feeling my triceps engage in a push-up and feeling my chest engage in a push-up that's working my chest and my triceps. And if I want to make it harder, right, I can either add weight onto my back. I can put a resistance band to make it a little bit more difficult for the pec or for the chest and for the tricep, right? So that increase of body awareness by taking out all the equipment, taking out all the things that you might normally do in your life, and just focusing on, hey, how can I move my body within gravity with the ground, and what is happening to my body, and how can I make those movements either better or engage those movements a little bit more, increase the intensity by increasing the muscular engagement with the movements, right? Beautiful, right? It really increases body awareness. The fourth is that it's an incredible deload week or weeks, right? So if I've been doing really heavy loads, really difficult training, then toggling to body weight, right? You're removing a lot of the external load. You're probably removing a ton of volume, right? And removing some intensity, right? That's created with these external weights, kettlebells, barbells, dumbbells, whatever it is that you've been training with, and you're now just working with the body. That doesn't mean that you can't make it difficult when you're using body weight and make it a more challenging, but it is an incredible deload week if that's the way you choose to use it, and toggle down, right, some of your output, power output, some of your intensity, and some of your volume by switching from a loaded, like battle rope or kettlebell or dumbbell weights, and then switching to just body weight. And then the fifth, it helps us get brilliance at the basics. So the basics of human movement, the basics of moving in all 3 planes, right? It really distills down human movement to its essence, which is human movement, moving our bodies in space and in time, in gravity with the ground, right? And as we get better at that, it's going to inevitably make us better in activities in our life. It's going to make us better in performance in activities or recreation or sports or whatever it is that we're applying our movements to have fun, to get better, or to keep from, injuring ourselves, to have more body awareness, to have more coordination, to have more balance, to have more control of whether I want to go do something with intensity and speed, or I want to do something slowly, methodically, or isometrically and freeze and stop and not move at all, right? So it gives us that opportunity to get brilliance at the basics. So those are the 5 benefits. Now let's talk about the 5 biggest mistakes. So the first one is too much too soon. So if you're just getting into a program, right, oftentimes we get excited because once we start moving, our adrenaline starts pumping, our blood pressure goes up a little bit, our heart rate goes up a little bit, we start to get a little bit of that euphoria in our minds, and we're getting really excited. We're like, yeah, I'm finally doing it, but then we end up biting off more than we can chew. So I always recommend, if you're just starting out a program, or even if you're deloading, too much too soon is not going to help, right? Body weight can sometimes be even more difficult, right? Depending on if we've done those movements before or not. So if we haven't done them before, I always say err on the side of easier. You can always go up from there. What you can't do is if you go too much too soon and then have an injury, or you hurt yourself or something like that, now you're out of the game, at least for those movements, at least for that body part or that joint for that particular time for it to heal again, and then you get back. So we don't want to go too much too soon. Right? Then the second thing is, most people, when they think body weight, they don't think progressive overload, or the way in which our body adapts, right? So if I want to get stronger, or if I want to build endurance, I cannot do the same 10 push-ups every single day for the rest of my life. I have to make the 10 push-ups turn into 12, and the 12 turn into 14, and the 14 turn into 16, and continue to progressively overload. And then maybe at some point I do 2 sets of 10. And then I do 3 sets of 10, and then I do 4 sets of 10. So there's a lot of different ways to progressive overload, or I maybe start adding weight and then getting that weight heavier and heavier and heavier with those 10 push-ups. So there's a lot of ways to progressive overload with body weight. I could do explosive push-ups as well. So go from regular push-ups to exploding off the ground. And that is just with push-ups. So there's progressive overload in the particular minimum space athlete program that is coming out that will easily walk you through a very easily understood and simple progressive overload for you to continue to get stronger, more mobile, and more endurance with a body weight program. Then the third is that they only focus on the endurance piece. They only focus on sweat. People tend to only focus on, am I breathing heavy? Am I sweating? Did I get an endurance type HIIT type workout? And those are great workouts, and I have those workouts in the minimum space athlete program. However, if that's the only focus that we do with body weight, we're missing strength, and strength is a huge component. We're missing coordination and explosive power and speed, and that's a huge component for any sort of body weight program, any sort of body weight workout. And then that leads me to the fourth, and the fourth is that they don't include speed and explosive work. So if you're not including speed and explosive work, you are not fully injury-proofing your body, because injury-proofing your body is also improving your reaction time, which is improving your speed and improving your explosiveness in your movements, right? And so if I don't use some speed and some explosiveness, then if I step off a curb or trip or something like that, I'm not going to be able to catch myself as well. I'm not going to be able to afford the impact that I'm going to feel, right, when I fall to the ground, because I haven't created moments in a safe environment, in a training environment where I'm training explosiveness, training speed, so that I can handle those impacts, I can handle those falls, or I can handle the reaction time to stop me from those falls, right? So always make sure you're including endurance, strength, and speed and explosive power in any program, especially a bodyweight program. And then the last is, most people don't get the most out of every movement. So they're not present when they're moving. They're not focusing on utilizing their breath to the highest potential, whether it's diaphragmatic breath in like endurance stuff, nasal breathing in endurance stuff, or using some sort of Valsalva maneuver in an explosive and speed type bodyweight movement, or using paradoxical breathing in strength work. So we want to make sure that we're incorporating different types of breath, different types of focus with each movement and going through the full range of motion. So I get the incredible opportunity of working out with my daughters, and what I often see is that they'll just try to achieve the reps or just try to finish the time. They won't really focus on going all the way down in the push-up or going all the way down in the squat. It's like, oh, I have to do 8 reps, so then they just bang out 8 reps, but then they're 8 sloppy reps, not getting the most out of the movement. So then the body doesn't really get to adapt. The body doesn't get stronger. It doesn't build endurance. It doesn't build explosive speed or whatever it is that's being programmed for that particular part of that bodyweight workout or program. And you're missing so much. Your body's missing so much. Your psychology is missing so much. There's a certain amount of confidence that comes from being able to do full range of motion, high quality movements with the highest level of precision, explosively, with speed, with strength, and or with efficiency and endurance. And that is the 5 benefits and the 5 most common mistakes that I have seen and I have experienced training lots of different clients and customers over the last couple of decades in bodyweight workouts. So hopefully that will gear you towards choosing and utilizing and seeing all of the benefits, as well as staying away from all of the mistakes and pursuing the right way of either building your workouts, following your workouts, or following your full-on program like the Minimum Space Athlete.